Hello and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. We're going to start a brand new theme today, as it is Monday, this one being Taking It Slow. We're going to be looking at tracks with slower tempos, slower time feels, slower pacing. Yeah, just going to chill out for a little bit. We're going to kick this off with, well, somehow a full album. Let's see. Was it Thursday, I think? We checked out a full album called Babel in a request. Saturday, we did our album review, and here we are with another album. The band is called Darkspace. There's no space between those two words, but the album is called Darkspace. There is a space between those words. It is followed up with a -2 or -II. Not really sure what I'm supposed to take from that. We do have 47.5 minutes of music ahead of us. I went and checked the album too. There's just one track. It's not even like all the songs flow together and it has different movements. This is just it. One 47-minute song. So 90 seconds in this video, I feel like we need to get this pace. Well, actually, we're supposed to be taking it slow this week. Maybe these intros will be a little less rushed. Let's dive into some Darkspace and see what they're bringing to the table with Darkspace -2.
Consider, if you will, that the universe is infinite. This has yet to be proven or disproven, but we can assure that there is no end to yourselves, your understanding, what you would call journey,
I do see that this was released on the Season of Mist label.
or your perceptions of
I assume we have metal ahead of us then.
creation. That which is infinite cannot be many, for many is a finite concept. To have infinity must identify or define that infinity as infinity. Otherwise, the term does not have any reference or meaning. In an infinite creator, there is only unity. You have seen symbols of unity. You have seen the prism, which shows all colors stemming from the sun. This is a simplistic example of unity. In truth, there is no right or wrong. There is no
As soon as I got into that groove, it's like, oh, it's,
for all will be
nope, it's just gone. It's sort of ephemeral, ghostly, where you can kind of see an outline, but you're not too sure. You kind of second guess your vision. They're kind of doing that sonically.
Spirit
Oh, now they're just locking in now. Alright, so a lot of pedal tone. Very atmospheric. Hey, this, that's a different picture? Is it moving? I don't think so. When did it change? Fun little sounds, little textures, little synthy things. No, we're definitely zooming out at a very slow rate. Oh, that's just a different pic. I missed the transition there. Oh, we're like fading out? Okay. I suppose I invited this on myself, offering this theme up for people to choose music to. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. We're a quarter of the way in, and there's pedal tone and atmosphere. What else could I say? I mean, I do enjoy the rogue electronic instrumentation that we saw in the first like 5 minutes, little chirps and beeps and stuff floating around the mix. Speaking of great timing, and there is the spoken word element. I have no idea what they're saying though. Thought I heard. Yeah, they're screaming in here. It's interesting. I brought up Babel earlier, but I actually see some parallels between that. Put the link up there if you're curious. It's an electronic exploration of minimalism and sonic deconstruction, or at least that was my take on it. I see some parallels with this though, too, particularly in the minimalism. We're coming up on the 20-minute mark. And honestly, is there much that's different between now and 10 minutes ago? The chord progression might be different, but the atmosphere it's evoking is similar, if not identical. The chords change, but the intervals and relationships don't. I mean, we do have these sort of interludes, but it would not surprise me if we went back to that same beat, that same guitar atmosphere, those same vocals. interesting too how it blurs the line between, I think, obvious black metal in the more metallic sections, but some sort of dark synthwave elsewhere. I mean, these four notes are incredibly haunting. There's something eerie and creepy about them. There's also tons of reverb on them, but this is a very electric drum sound. Sorry, electronic drum sound. I guess electric drum kind of fits too. Feels like something you would hear in an electronic song, not so much a metal one. It's both the beat and the timbre, specifically of that bass kick. And this has been ever present. The beginning of the song certainly sat more within a synthier electronic sound than metal. It grew into that black metal element. little flittering of sounds. I enjoy that. Nice little bits of ear candy, good production. Both the placement, the movement, the clarity of these sounds, but also the textures and timbres themselves. The quick clittering at times. It's just a very cool thing where it's part digital, electric, but it also feels alien too, like some sort of machinery from another civilization on a different planet, using materials that aren't present on Earth. It still feels industrial, just not our industrial. Like there's parts of it that almost feel like hummingbird wings, the way they sound. it fading out? I don't. Maybe. It's 47 minutes long. We still have 5 more minutes ahead of us. I'm over here counting down the minutes like we're almost done.
This field varies. The limit is approximately 1/2
It just doesn't
light
end.
speed as you would
Just
call it.
wrap it up,
This
please.
is due to imperfections in design.
I gotta make sure. There's nothing in these last few sections. All right. Have y'all ever put a movie, a DVD, a Blu-ray, maybe into a DVD player? It comes up to the menu where it's, settings, what kind of audio you want, and chapters, bonus features, play of the film. It's got a little, maybe a little video in the corner, a little blooper reel or something, maybe, and a short little, 2-minute audio loop. And you get called away. Maybe a phone call, or I don't know. You gotta go fix some food. Maybe you heard the pot boiling over in the kitchen. You thought it was good to sit for like another hour, but yeah, you set the burner just a little too high and it's not simmering, it's now boiling. And while you're taking care of this other thing, your TV is just sitting at this menu with this 2-minute loop over and over and over and over and over again. I suppose this also works in the realm of video games, main menu music, or any sort of menu music. You pause the game and a little loop happens and just walk away for some reason. And that's what this song feels like to me. There have been times in the past when we've checked out video game music where the track itself is repeated. I think this happened most frequently with some of Zun's work that we've checked out in the past. Where I've listened to a version of the song, which the length is actually half of it. You just get to hear the same idea twice as it loops back in on itself before the track ends or the YouTube video ends. That's what this feels like to me. There is an ambient side to this. There is the industrial blackened metal side, and we just bounced back and forth between these two ideas for 50 minutes. I don't think, well, let me rephrase this. I know I didn't get anything new out of any of the subsequent sections after, let's say, the 15-minute mark, 20 minutes to be generous. Almost halfway through, I felt that there was still some new things popping up, I suppose. But the drum pattern is the same through the entire thing. The emotion, the energy, the atmosphere of this is the same every single time around. Again, the chords themselves might be different, but the chord names, the relationships between these chords, the progression itself doesn't change. It evokes the same emotion every time, regardless of what the specific notes are that are being played. There is so much of this song that I don't think I needed to listen to. And yet here we are. I'm trying not to be too pessimistic about it, but this was incredibly fatiguing. And maybe I could be more generous towards it if it did something. Anything. The drum part, the same pattern. Every single time the drums came back. You know what the guitars are doing every time they're present? 16th notes. You hit 16 16th of this note, you hit 16 16th notes of this note, you hit 16 16th notes of this note. You put a fourth note in there, you bridge that out to 8 notes, and that's it. You just repeat these 8 notes in this specific rhythmic pattern over and over and over and over again. To support that, there is some sort of synth underneath everything. They're doing the same exact thing, they just don't do the 16th notes, they do whole notes, which means you don't hear da 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 da, you just hear da. They're playing the same notes, the same chords. It's a different texture, a different rhythm, but it's the same movement. I think that's why I found the little flittering things so interesting. I mean, first of all, they are interesting. I love the sonic textures. It tickles the brain when it's done right. It's one of my big draws to electronic music in general. And I think that they're done very well here, especially given the space in the name of the band and the album title, but also the space in the music video. This is a very spacey song. And so bringing in these almost industrial alien-like sounds is very neat. But they also are different. It is one of the few different things that ever happens in here. And while I don't think all of the sounds worked for me, some of them came across a bit shrill and antagonistic. They did not. It wasn't even neutral. I just actively did not like the sound itself, but these were pretty rare. Instead, we got sonic movement, shifting around the sound sphere, rising and lowering in pitch, in volume, panning from left to right. And all of these, just these cool little sounds, this flittering and chittering and clattering. It was something as minimal and sparse as it was in the track. It was change. Everything else. Oh, there's also vocals in here. I couldn't tell you what they're saying. Could barely even tell you that they were vocals at times, stuffed inside the mix, compressed to the ends of the earth and back, and just real low in volume. They oftentimes ended up just as a white noise component of the song. There's also clean vocal, I don't know, samples, field recording, just someone speaking into a microphone as if they're talking on an airline or a train, helping people understand the rules that they should exhibit within this ride. I don't know, dude. They didn't really add much either, other than just, again, something different. Occasionally, I'll hear a voice. And that's the entire song. Sometimes we remove the guitars and drums and we have just the synth. There's our atmospheric sections. That's it. That's the whole song. Now, I am a bit more in a cynical mood, we might say it right now. I'm playing a little bit of it up to kind of create some hyperbole here, because it's not all bad, but there's very few times that I've come out of a song just wondering why I wasted my time. And, you know, I got to put this in perspective, right? Hyperbole aside, looking at this more critically, it's not a bad track. I think it does some neat things with sonic exploration. And it is an interesting perspective into black metal minimalism. I have an appreciation for what this track is doing, even if I actively I didn't enjoy my time with it. I can't even think of words. I speak no good anymore. My brain is mush. What I'm trying to say is that the entire first 5-6 minutes of this analysis segment, honestly, this is more reaction than anything else. I doubt I have anything to add to this. It's subjective. I don't want anyone to walk away from this and say, well, this guy is a music critic and he always knows what he's talking about. I don't, but whatever. And then for someone to use my words on this track to justify that it's garbage or something. It isn't. It's well produced. It's passionately written. It is incredibly patient in a way that I am not. And I'm sure there's an audience for it. In fact, I think it's really good, as much as I hate to say this, background music. I mean, I don't think that my parallel to menu music was completely random in my mind. I think that this would do really good as music underneath, I mean, might be a little close in name, but a Dead Space game. Or maybe even one of the new Doom titles. It definitely has that metal chugging, but heavy weight around it. I don't know if the spacey sci-fi things would work as well with the Doom sound, but who knows? Maybe. Maybe Doom, I mean, Doom is kind of sci-fi, but it is really good at what it does. I just don't think I've ever been further from the target audience for a work since I've started doing these reactions. Now, there is one bit of theory we should probably talk about here. I've thrown around the word minimalism a couple of times. In music, there are two kinds of minimalism. There's one that works well with the generally accepted idea of minimalism in art, which is a lack of things. A blank canvas might be minimal. Painting with one color and only using straight lines might be minimal. This is not. There's a lot of instruments here. They're big, they take up a lot of space. There's drums that keep the song moving forward. But in music, there's a second kind of minimalism. A minimalism of time. What if, instead of allowing this whole song to play out, we looked at just one bar of the song and stretched it out to 5, 10, 50 minutes. I probably should have put some more stuff in there. It feels like I just multiplied 5, 10, and then got 50. I meant to like show you can stretch it out as long as you want. And I feel like that's what happened here. Because particularly with those fluttering sounds, if you've ever used a slow-mo feature to slow down a song, a video on YouTube. In fact, YouTube has a little button down here to drop the speed. If you've ever had a sound effect, a cymbal crash, and you just stretched it out so it played super slow, you'll actually find that there's a lot of warbling going on once you reach a certain point of stretchiness. And it's because that the vibrations of the string of a guitar, the vibrations moving through a cymbal as you hit it, the vibrations moving through the air with the sound waves for aerophones. Sound waves are vibration. That's what they are. And so when you stretch out a sound, any sound pretty much, you're going to find oscillating ideas. If you can match the speed of that oscillation to whatever tempo you're playing, you can create something that is musically aligned, rhythmically at least, with with the music you're creating. And so these sound effects, they're very cool. I highly doubt they went in this direction, but they are, in a sense, a sort of parallel, a distant cousin to this stretching out of a sound and using that as a sound effect, something that you can then add pitches to or adjust the pitch to. We can also look at the guitar riff this way as well. The guitar has, a few notes, da, 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 whatever the notes are. Well, speed them up a little bit. Da, 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 da. You got a faster idea here. Play each of those notes 2 times or 4 times now. Maybe play them as fast as you can. Now that you have a faster moving melody line that is played pretty quickly as well, you have a pretty typical black metal riff, whether you focused on 4 times per note to get that 16th note thing at black metal speeds, or you played as fast as you could and went for the tremolo picking perspective. I think you're going to find that these notes just played faster feel like a pretty traditional black metal riff. It's just that we've slowed it down so far. And a riff that should take 2 seconds to complete one loop of now takes 20 seconds to complete a loop of. the drums don't really apply to this slowing down. It almost feels like we took the riff, stretched it out, and then applied the drum work, the ornamental work, everything else around this new drum part. The resulting tempo of stretching this new guitar part. The resulting tempo of this guitar part is what dictated what the tempo of the song is, what everything else would be built around. But it really does feel like zooming really far into a black metal riff. And so this hyper examination of black metal in general, of sound in general, is very much what minimalistic music is about. And this actually, I think, parallels pretty well with Babel back on Thursday, I think that was, because I also talked about that track through a minimalistic lens. Although that one shifted both from the diving down to a specific point, and also it went into a different direction of what if we just didn't include a lot of things and left a lot of space. This one doesn't really do the space thing too much, or I should say the emptiness. So I do find that interesting. Interesting, I don't know, intellectually maybe. Sonically, it's still not anything that grabs me. I said that was the last thing, but I suppose there is one more. What does this song make me feel? What is it doing? I think it captures the space vibes very well. There is curiosity within this track, but it is often paired with eeriness. There are chords that typically come in around the same time that there is this mysterious sound, and then we'll shift into something tenser. Lots of dissonance presented into it that's amplified by the distortion of these instruments that really leads to this sort of fear and mystery, this curiosity, but apprehension to explore. I think that captures space really well. The more atmospheric sections are kind of empty. You have a synth, maybe a quasi-melodic line, and it's usually about it. It feels very sparse in the way that, well, space can be empty at times. I suppose then I could even give a generous reading to the repetition of the metallic sections and just that one drum part pressing us forward all the time. The heavy repetition, especially in space, it's just the way space is. It just continues to be, no matter how far you go into it, it's still just space. In fact, there's going to be lots of areas where you don't see anything at all, distant from any sort of planets or star systems, any sort of suns. You're just out there in the black. You keep trekking, hoping you find something else. Like I said, that's a bit of a generous read, but I suppose it is a read nonetheless. I guess I'm going to look up some lyrics here and see what's happening there. Couldn't find any. Genius has tracks listed. As far as I can tell, there's only one track, so I don't know what's going on there. But they don't have any lyrics, not even Metal Archive has lyrics. And if no one else has any, usually they have somehow found some. But nothing. So I'm going to assume that, kind of in fashion with other black metal bands and sometimes even death metal bands who stuff their vocals into the mix, it's usually because they're not too interested in having the lyrics out there. They don't provide them on their website. They don't provide them in booklets or inserts. It's just not something that they're too keen on releasing. And that's probably what's going on here. Otherwise, I'm sure, since this album is a couple years old now, if the band wanted us to know, they would have released it somewhere, either on their own or in merchandise, inserts, pamphlets, booklets, and users would have uploaded it somewhere. So we wrap this video up. Bryan a bit more fatigued and tired. I don't know where you all sit. If you got through the entire album with me, congratulations. If you enjoyed it, absolutely let me know. I would love to hear what some of y'all find endearing or engaging with this. I can see places where it would excel, but daily listening, active listening, I'd be really surprised how many people would say that they actively listen to this or listen to it just, paying attention to it, actively engaging with it, rather than just putting it on the background while they do something else. But, as usual, let me know. Drop that stuff down into the comment section below. Any thoughts, opinions, perspectives you have on it. I'm curious to see what people say about this one. Above that, description box, link tree, there's stuff in there. Y'all probably know the drill. I don't think there's going to be too many new people coming to this video. Like, subscribe. Y'all know the call to action stuff. I'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. UTC, hopefully a bit refreshed and ready to dive into some more slow music. Again, I feel like I'm the only one to blame here, as I knew it was going to get picked. Although the other one was Speed Demon, and I feel like there's just as many dangerous tracks that could be picked for that theme as well. I do hope that we have some more digestible, slower music this week, but we'll see where the week takes us. Until next time, remember to be critical, not cynical, and I'm being a bit hypocritical here, of the music you listen to, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you choose to watch my videos.